What I feel like I've encountered a lot in the last couple of years, particularly in the wake of George Floyd, was people who were aggressively seeking to adopt an identity that didn't really fit who they were. They really wanted to be about Black Lives Matter. They really wanted to be about racial justice. But I'm like, that's not who you are. Because a lot of the conflict I observe in organizations is the messaging that you are trying to communicate about who you are is not aligning with how people are experiencing you internally. You need to hear that and become more clear about what it is you actually are and what you're capable of doing. I'm trying to help people close the gap between their stated values and their lived realities. It's not just for the people who are paying me, it's also for the people who are there doing the work and to ensure that their voices are being heard. I'd like to say at my best, I'm a mirror. So part of my job is to be able to help you see yourself more clearly. When I work with you and you work with me, our job is to challenge because the situation that we're living in is not working. Those are the hard conversations you have with people, and sometimes people don't want to hear it. But sometimes people are like, thank you, and they lean in, and they want to go further with it. My dad was the one who came up with the idea, would you be interested in Sidwell? I think what I was exposed to at Sidwell was there were certain class markers that were unspoken in that time period. We were all still operating from a lot of places of stereotypes around one another. Nevertheless, there was an invitation to be a part of the community from the moment I got there. I remember Juan Jules' history class, and we read the 60s papers. When I think about wanting to do work that is justice-centered, that class was incredibly important to me. In South Africa, I did a lot of reflective journaling, largely because I was having this experience of being Black in a different context, being Black with an American passport, being Black as a law student in a place that was still emerging from apartheid. This kind of generosity of spirit amongst people who had been so severely wounded, it was the experience that taught me how to trust human beings in a way. So that became like the drive to see more of the world and to, quite frankly, decide that I can choose my own path. And there was something about the South Africa experience that gave me a lot of assurance that, Dax, you'll figure it out. I was fortunate enough to have a father and a mother who weren't like, you need to become X. When I came back for law school, I was clear. I'm not ready to commit to this as my path. I knew that I wanted to really create a different kind of impact. I had discovered that I can ask questions that help people excavate their own experience. I do believe being in an environment like Sidwell where you are surrounded by people who believe in themselves and know that they are going to be leaders in their space, that rubs off on you. I feel good about where I am in my own life. I'm committed completely and entirely to my children and to my wife. As a father, I have this deep sense of responsibility to brace them for the reality that awaits. That's, I feel like, the big challenge, raising responsible adults that can exist in a very dynamic and changing environment, and that they can be resilient and they can be part of the cadre of humans that keep us moving forward. I'm just a link in the chain that traces back generations. Settling into that, it relieves some pressure. It's gonna be going on after I'm gone. This work is not stopping. I'm not here to complete it. My charge is to move the rock another half an inch alongside a number of other people who are pushing with me. And I've just been overwhelmed and really gratified by the kinds of organizations that come knocking and want to really do deep work. I'm hopeful and encouraged by the number of people who are saying, we're not going back. And I'm hopeful that the journey continues in that way.